off. John from the desk next to Lizzie mouths cursed at me. I freeze. This was the word that tore apart my friendships as a child. It started not that long after my friend Kara fell into a lion's cage at my seventh birthday party. She's not well enough to see you, Kara's mother said, holding the door halfway open. We'll come back in a couple days, my dad said as he put his hand on my shoulder. Sam? Kara's voice came from down the hallway. I'm sorry, Kara, I yelled, trying to peer around her mother. I didn't know what I was apologizing for, but I knew I was sorry. As Kara reached the door, her mother yanked her backward. Kara, you're not going to be seeing Sam anymore. They were just leaving. My eyes began to fill with tears, and my dad stiffened next to me. Of course you're upset about what happened, but it's not Sam's fault. Keeping the girls apart is I reached out for Kara, but her mother blocked me. The door slammed in my face. I didn't really understand what it all meant. All I knew is that I didn't have Kara anymore, because there was something wrong with me, and I wasn't sure I could take that. Thank you, Twisted. John grins at the shocked look on my face. Is there some way that they could know about all the bad luck I had when I was a kid? Or is this just some awful coincidence? I'm not cursed, and if you say that again, I'll smack that smile off of you. I yell, and the room goes silent, and everyone stares. Mr. Wardwell stands straighter. Miss Mather, I will not have that kind of threatening outburst in my classroom. If you cannot control yourself, you'll leave. Is that clear? Lizzie tightens the noose around the little doll's neck. I clench my fist. So it's totally fine that she has some sick voodoo doll with a noose. Are you kidding me? They took my freaking hair the other day. Mr. Wardwell looks at Lizzie, but the doll is nowhere in sight. Out! Mr. Wardwell points toward the door. I yank my bag up and storm off. Mr. Wardwell, Jackson says, it's not. I don't want to hear it, Jackson. Mr. Wardwell follows me into the hallway. I want you to go in that room there, Mr. Wardwell shakes his finger at me, and calm yourself down. I'll be in to talk to you when I'm ready. I cross the hall and enter the empty classroom and throw my bag on the floor. I know I shouldn't let my temper get the better of me like that, but those descendants are completely insane. Who does that? I don't believe in witchcraft or whatever that crap was, but still. And Jackson defending me? I don't need his help. I've always been fine on my own. I don't know why I got it in my head that I might make friends here. I pace around the room until I wear myself out. I kick the desk under the window before I sit in it. I want my dad back. I need to talk to him. I need to hear that eventually things will get better. Right now, everything is so wrong, and it seems to be slipping further out of control by the minute. I put my head in my hands, and my hair falls around my face. My dad knelt down beside me. It's not your fault. You know that, right, Sam? That woman she's scared about what happened to Kara, and she wants to blame someone. He pushed my hair back from my wet cheeks. You're one of the most kind, beautiful people I've ever known, and I promise you I'll do everything that I can to fix this. I nodded. Okay, Daddy. But somewhere inside of me, I knew things would never be the same. After some minutes of closing my eyes, my breath slows when I sit up again. The dark-haired guy I collided with the other day stands just inside the doorway. For a few seconds, we're both silent. You will leave. His voice is flat, but his face is intense. The classroom? I can't. Salem, he says. And for the first time, I notice that he too wears all black. Chapter 10. Under all that bravado. The bell rings at the end of my 6th period literature class, and I'm the first person out of the classroom. I can't wait to get out of this place. If I hear one more person whisper that the descendants curse me, I'll scream. I rush to my locker. Good, Susanna isn't there yet. I spin the numbers on my combination lock and quickly open the latch. As I grab my notebooks, Jackson heads straight for me. I slam my locker shut and I walk towards the exit. But by the time I reach the door, he catches up. Sam, what the hell is going on? Go away. Not until you tell me why you're so angry. He keeps pace with my speed walking. You've been avoiding me all day. You know why. I turn down the sidewalk away from the school. No, I really don't. Please. I don't need to feel any more ridiculous than I already do. I watch the cracks of the sidewalk pass under my feet, trying to steer my mind away from how hurt I feel. I've been nothing but nice to you. Am I missing something here? I look at him for the first time since we started talking. How did the descendants find out about my dad being in the hospital? Oh, shit. Shit is right. I adjust my gaze downward again and talk faster than before. There has to be some part of me that still hoped it wasn't him. I shouldn't have trusted him. It's not what you think. I don't want to have this conversation. Sam, you weren't there. You don't know what I said. I don't care. I'm better off alone. Well, I do, he says. By lunchtime on your first day, I heard the descendants were going to make your life hell. There were rumors all over about you. I talked to Susanna, told her to get the group to back off, that you were going through some tough things. I had no idea that they were going to use it against you. The weight of that day settles behind my eyes, and I want to get away from him before I embarrass myself more. I make my way onto the sidewalk near my house. He steps in front of me before I reach my driveway. Move, I say. No, not until you say you believe me. Jackson, come on. I make eye contact with him. You're a junior with a ton of friends. People like you. I don't believe for a second that you want to spend all this time with me. My voice shakes a little. I just want you to stop making fun of me. I'm not making fun of you. He's so sincere. I'm not sure whether to hit him for being such a good liar or to believe him. Oh, no, it's my pillow, sorry. It says, welcome to the dark side. Okay, here we go. You already won. I feel like crap. Job done. Come over and talk to my mom. I stop. What's he up to? I'll make a deal with you. Come talk to my mom, and if you're not convinced I'm telling the truth, then I'll leave you alone. He watches me consider it, and I'll do our history paper. You won't even have to talk to me. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you with the pillow, Juicy. There it is. I eye him suspiciously. Fine. But you better not suck at history. I follow him to his house with its blue shutters. Hold on, Luna. Do you want to come here? Luna. Come here. Psst, psst, psst. Come here. Come here. Come here. Well, honey, you made a mess. There you go. Come on. Up, up. Come here. You in your skull pajamas. Sorry, guys. You and me both. Come here, Kaylee. Come on, Kaylee. Sorry, my dog takes forever to come here. Come here. Well, thank you, Maui. That's very kind of you. Which one? I'm good, Ellie Mae. How are you? Luna, my pit bull, is 6 years old, and Kaylee, my little Chiweenie, is estimated to be 10 years old, I think. Thank you, Ellie. Okay, where was I? Okay, here we go. I follow him to his house with its blue shutters and nautical star. The moment he opens the screen door, delicious scents of warm dough and apple cinnamon fill my nose. Kaylee, lay down. I'm reading a book and it's TikTok, so, call it whatever you want. You and me both. I don't mind listening to books being read, but I was never a big fan of reading them myself. I'm sorry. The side of TikTok where all the people who read books are. The house is surprising. Its interior is reminiscent of the inside of a boat. One with high masts used for adventures. Rustic raw wood beams stripe the white ceilings. The shelves are made from driftwood, and so is the banister. "Mom!" Jackson yells and heads down the hallway to the left. He leads me through an arched wooden doorway. The kitchen counters are covered with cookies, pies, and every wonderful thing. Models of ships decorate the walls, and glass jars of spices line the windowsills. "Samantha!" Miss Merriweather beams from behind her mixing bowl. "You've finally come to visit." "Hi, Miss Merriweather." I approach the island filled with sweets. "My mom owns Sugar Spell's bakery in town," Jackson explains. "But she spends most of her time here, making new recipes." "So she owns the bakery." I nod, hoping that Vivian didn't yell at Miss Merriweather over the pastries. Miss Merriweather smiles. "Have anything you like." I choose a heart-shaped tart with fresh raspberries and bite into it. It's delicious. "Mom, tell Sam what I told you when I came home after the first day of school," Jackson says. She tilts her head. "He told me the students were turning on you." "And?" She eyes Jackson curiously. "And that he knew what it was like to have that happen, and he would try to stop it." "See?" I look back and forth between them. Miss Merriweather puts down her mixing bowl. "Jackson, leave us a minute." "Mom!" "Jackson." He huffs but walks out of the room. "Take a seat," she says, and I pull out one of, she says, and I pull out one of the high-backed chairs at the island. "You're going to come over here, aren't you, River? Come here. Come here, River. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Come here." Okay, I guess she's not coming over here. Guys, can we not be rude? Come here, River. Kitty, kitty. Come here. Kitty, 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 kitty. I bet they can't read as good as Willow. I mean, while it's a compliment to me, it's being rude to someone else. So please, let's not have the snarky comments. Okay, sorry, where was I? "Take a seat," she says, and I pull out one of the high-back chairs at the island. She adds brown sugar to her bowl before continuing. "Did you know I grew up in this house?" I shake my head. "Your father and I were practically inseparable. We were born 1 month apart, did everything together. He was the best at thinking up pranks, but a total cheat at running races." She laughs. Used to make me look the wrong way, and he would take off. I tried to imagine my dad acting silly with a young Miss Merriweather. After everything started going downhill. What, Prentice? You are very distracting. Thank you, baby. Go. I tried to imagine my dad acting silly with a young Miss Merriweather. After everything started going downhill for me socially, my dad lost a lot of his playfulness. He took it hard, and then, pardon me, that he couldn't change things for me. I sigh. I always wanted to know about this place, but he wouldn't talk about it. I didn't really. Come on. Prentiss. Prentiss. She's named after Emily Prentiss from Criminal Minds. I always wanted to know about this place, but he wouldn't talk about it. I didn't know about you. I worry that I've said the wrong thing, but she only looks thoughtful. Yes, she stirs her bowl. He divorced this place after your mother died. He was devastated. We all were. But he didn't let it interfere with being a father. You should have seen the way he wouldn't put you down as a baby. You're not the first person to have heard it wrong. Ow, sorry. You should have seen the way he wouldn't put you down as a baby. I look at my hands. I miss him. Every day without him feels empty. I know you do. Her voice is kind. My heart breaks for you thinking about how you must be suffering, but it won't help to shut people out either. I see Charlie's stubbornness written all over you. You know, he sprained his ankle one year while we were ice skating down at the river, dragged himself home the whole mile and a half. Wouldn't even let me carry his shoes. Charlotte nearly had a fit. I'm not trying to shut people out. It's just no one really likes me here. Jackson does. And if you let him in, you might find something worth knowing under all that bravado. I don't have any bravado, Jackson says from the hallway. I'm just naturally awesome. Jackson, eavesdropping is a terrible habit, she said, made common by swindlers and little old ladies. He appears in the doorway with his confident grin. Don't worry. I just came back to see if you were done. That's up to Samantha, she says. Yeah, I think so. Can I come back at some point? I'd love to hear some stories about my dad. There's nothing I'd like more. She scoops out a mound of batter that smells like eggnog and warm butter. Jackson gestures for me to follow him. Come here, Luna. Come here. Move. Hey. Make up your mind. Do you want to come here or what do you want to do? Come here. You're digging into my side. Come here. Adjust. Her paw is digging into my side. Give me just I wish to read at. If you want to if you want to if you want to if you want to is it still lagging? I was gonna say, I paused the live. That's why it lagged for a minute. Chapter 11. The Friendship. How are you not fat? I asked, gripping the warm cup of hot chocolate with a hint of chili and cinnamon from Miss Merriweather's Sugar Spells Bakery. Jackson pats his flat stomach. Good genes. We cross the street toward the harbor, and I get my first view of the enormous ship. Whoa! You haven't seen the Friendship yet? He's all smiles. Is that what this pirate ship is called? He laughs. It's actually a reconstruction of an East India trading ship, built in 1797. I look at him sideways. You know the exact date? My father used to take me down here as a kid. He built boats, and he loved this one in particular. Suddenly, his house makes a lot more sense. I sip my hot cocoa. It's traveled the globe over a dozen times, and returned to Salem after each trip, bringing things from all over the world. He looks out at the masts with their complex wooden tiers. Really? I'm charmed by Jackson's love for this old boat. Unfortunately, the British took the original in the War of 1812 and sold it for parts. That's sad. It's beautiful. There's an openness about him when he talks about this ship. Yeah, I hate when people tear apart beautiful things. That's not at all pointed. My cheeks warm up. So, you used to come here with your dad? Yeah, he'd explain all the parts of the ship and how they worked. That's why I like to build furniture. I built a lot of things with my dad. The sky started to turn from orange to pink. What was he like? Jackson smiles. He always wore suspenders, and he had a deep laugh. One of those ones where your body shakes, and he carries this old pipe around with him that drove my mom nuts. She used to say that he was stinking up the place, but more than anything, he loved my mother. He had the biggest sweet tooth. He used to... I lost my spot. Okay, there we go. He used to sneak into the kitchen late at night and eat the new pastries she made for the shop. She would complain, but secretly she loved it. His love for his father is so relatable that my breath catches in my throat. He sounds wonderful. Okay, you're hot. You are. Do you want to move? You're hot. We're going to adjust you. I wish I knew where the remote for my fan was. He put his arm around my shoulder and pulls me closer. I tense at his touch. Maybe Miss Merriweather was right about Jackson. I haven't even really given him a chance. I'm just not used to people being nice to me. The couple of times someone from school sought me out like this, it was to play a trick on me, which didn't exactly help me in the trusting department. I relaxed my muscles and leaned gently against him, getting a whiff of pine needles. What, Prentice? How dare you tag clumsy? No, Luna, it's not for you. It's amazing. Every time I pick up this bowl, Luna seems to think it's for her. You don't even like strawberries, Luna. Stop it. They love it. And I love the fact that it's not on all the time. Like, it only turns itself on when they're near it. It's a bowl of strawberries with whipped cream. I made homemade whipped cream to go with the strawberries. Yes, you can set it to where it's on all the time. But I chose the motion activated because then it doesn't run down the battery as often. I only need to charge it whenever I'm changing the filter. Gimme. And you get like 3 filters with the fountain when you buy it. So you don't have to buy any new filters for at least 6 months. They like it, but they're lactose intolerant. So it can make them sick. Okay. Continuing on. I didn't have any friends in the city. We watched the colorful sky reflected in the water, and I wonder about his arm, which hasn't released me yet. You always say what you think, don't you? He says, like it's a good thing. I shrug. Vivian says I have no filter. Funny thing is, I think I get that from her. But really, I just don't see a need to sugarcoat things. So then I guess you don't miss New York? Not exactly. But I miss being able to go to the hospital every day. This is the longest I've gone without seeing my dad since he went into a coma. The apartment sold faster than Vivian thought it would, and we had to move before we could get him transferred to Boston. Hi, Mandy. Other Mandy, not Mod Mandy. Hi, Abby. Let's see, where was I? This is the longest I've gone without seeing my dad since he went into a coma. The apartment sold way faster than Vivian thought it would, and we had to move before we could get him transferred to Boston. Jackson holds me a little tighter, and I don't resist snuggling into the warmth of his body. My chest rises and falls a little faster against his side. Jackson looks down at me. If you don't mind me asking, what happened? I pause. Jackson's the first person to ask me to tell this story. Why are you rolling your eyes, Mandy? I guess I should say Mod Mandy. Four months ago, my dad was cooking breakfast. It was Saturday morning, and before he got sick, I had a talent for sleeping till noon. I'd sleep through car alarms, fire trucks, basically anything. But that morning, somewhere in my unconscious brain, Vivian's panicked voice registered, and I shot straight out of bed. I didn't know it then, but what I was reacting to was her on the phone with 911. Hi, EJ. I just remember running into the kitchen and seeing my dad lying on the black tiles. The weirdest thing is, in that exact moment, I realized that he had been in the middle of making me my favorite breakfast. Chocolate chip banana pancakes. His eyes closed before I reached him. The doctor said that there was a small tear in the lining of his heart. They fixed it with surgery, but he's been in a coma ever since. They don't know why. Jackson shakes his head. I'm terribly sorry. I wake up feeling panicked a lot now. I think it might be my fault. My dad's getting sick, I mean. I never admitted that to anyone. Sam, it's definitely not your fault. Suddenly I feel exposed and have a desperate need to hide. I pull away from Jackson's side. You don't know me that well. People always get hurt around me. I'm like a magnet for disaster. Sorry, it's bugging me that little pieces of my hair are hanging down. Okay. Hey, Sammy Joe. You can't blame yourself for... Let's just drop it. I bite my lower lip. I better get home. I never told Vivian where I was going. Sure. We walk off the dock and back towards the street. We walk off the dock and back towards the street. To push out my own dark thoughts. Historical landmarks or anything? Yeah, they're everywhere. He says as we walk. Down that way, a couple of blocks, is Old Burying Point, the oldest graveyard in Salem. One of the Mathers is buried there. I'll take you one day when it's not dark. Who's scared now? I ask. He grins as we walk through the small streets lined with beautiful old houses. And down that way is where Judge Corwin lived. A lot of people from Salem went there to discuss witchcraft accusations. His hand grazes mine, and I pull it away before I consider it. Before I consider if I want to. You really do know a lot of history. I'm impressed. Is that a compliment? I give them when they're deserved. Can you repeat it? I want to remember it. That is absolutely what I meant to do. Can you repeat it? I want to remember it. No. I try not to smile, but fail. He stops in front of a ginormous mansion with big glass windows and a roof dotted with cupolas. It reminds me of a New England-style castle. The greens are beautifully laid out, and an imposing fence surrounds the property. What is this place? I ask. It used to be the jail. Fancy jail. It held prisoners from the War of 1812, he explains. A lot of people died here, most of them hanged. Home to the Boston Strangler. He points past the building to the graveyard. Howard Street Cemetery. You guys have cemeteries everywhere. I guess there are just a lot of dead people in Salem. That's not creepy at all, I say. Giles Corey was pressed to death here. His voice has a dramatic edge. It happened in the, let's try that again. Giles Corey was pressed to death here. His voice has a dramatic edge. It happened in this very alley. What? Why would anyone do that? Well, when he was accused of committing witchcraft, as a very old dude, he refused to plead guilty, or not guilty. Giles was stripped naked, put in a pit, and 2 heavy boards were laid on his chest, with heavier and heavier rocks placed on top. That's seriously barbaric. Why didn't he just plead not guilty? Jackson shrugs. All I know is that 1 or 2 days... All I know is that over 2 days he was asked to plead 3 times, and all he said was, "More weight." At some point his tongue came out of... Pardon me, at some point people say his tongue came out of his mouth, and the sheriff pushed it back in with his cane. Then right before he died, he cursed the sheriff. That's one of the most horrible things I've ever heard. I wish I wasn't visualizing it. Hi, Kelly. Apparently, every sheriff since then has died of a heart attack or contracted some blood disease. Oh man. So, what's this place used for now? Eventually the town bought it and turned it into apartments and a restaurant. Huh. People live in an old jail. I wonder if I could ever do that. People say that Giles Corey haunts this place, and that sometimes you'll feel a cold hand on your shoulder. He lifts his eyebrows. I don't believe in ghosts. Yeah, me either. But we might be the only ones. There we go. The wind picks up and I cross my arms, at which point something lightly grazes my shoulder. I jump. Jackson laughs. Jackson laughs. That's not funny. I thought you didn't believe in ghosts. I don't. Doesn't mean I don't jump when people... Let's try that again. I thought you didn't believe in ghosts. I don't. Doesn't mean I don't jump when people poke me unexpectedly. Got it. No unexpected pokings. He smirks. Only expected ones. For a moment there, I was almost thinking how mature and knowledgeable you are. Then you act like a total ass. What was that? I heard everything up to the knowledgeable part. Unbelievable. I shake my head, and we turn around. We turn around the corner as the sun sets behind. We turn around the corner as the sun sets behind the old houses and the tall trees. Hey, debatings. Guys, bear with me. My neck is throbbing. I'm trying to find a comfortable position. Bear with me. Did they magically just give him his arm back? No, Luna. How are you debating? Women's? Please tell me we at least didn't lose to Texas. Who did we lose to? Hi, Appalachian. That's almost worse. Okay, it's Kaylee's turn. Come here, Kaylee. Here you go, baby. Hi, Witch of the North. I don't really focus on softball. Like, I'm thrilled that we had that winning streak. And it's not like we can't build up to that again, but... Yes, Kaylee is, enjoying